Hey, you know what? I've never really had a set opinion on the Equestria Girls series. I first watched the original only a few weeks after getting into the show, and it was before Rainbow Rocks had even come out, so I was still at that point where watching FAM just made me think,
What am I doing?
so with Equestria Girls,
What am I doing? This isn't even good. My life is crumbling from my eyes. Why am I still watching this?
so in some ways, I kinda hated the high school aspect of it, but I guess I got used to it, more or less. So I can actually think seriously about the movies now, especially considering they've gotten a whole lot better since the original. A thought I've had on friendship games is the conflict it shows between choosing an independent study program or going to Canterlot High. I agree that an independent study program would probably help Twilight a whole lot in her academic studies, but under her particular circumstances, I think she made the right choice to go to Canterlot High. If Twilight was able to shut herself off from the world at Crystal Prep, independent study would in no way help her get out more. So myself being homeschooled through all of grade school, yeah, I've never actually attended a brick and mortar school in my life. So I thought, what might MLP's stance on homeschooling be? I've come up with 3 points as to why this question is kind of difficult to answer. Number 1. Twilight wants an independent study program, not homeschooling, not in the normal sense anyway. Homeschooling generally means to be educated by your parents. In other words, parents should be in charge of the whole thing. An independent study program probably doesn't have tons of parental involvement, but rather a supervisor who communicates online. All studies would be done, like it says, independently with written materials. Also, the program would let Twilight go completely at her own pace. And knowing Twilight, this would mean she would do nothing but sit in a home office and study. Every time she completed an assignment, she'd just ask for the next one and never take a break. Of course, this parent issue is kind of the entire idea of point number 2. Where are Twilight's parents in all of this? There are no parents shown or even talked about in Equestria Girls. The only family we've seen are siblings. Without parents, I think that truly the only way Twilight will get any socialization will be by attending a brick and mortar school. I can't consider this to be anti-homeschooling because the movie doesn't involve parents or the traditional homeschooling option. In good homeschooling, the parents take on the responsibility to make sure that their children have friends and have times and places to hang out with them. In Equestria Girls, I'd say that is really the biggest reason it can't make a valid argument against homeschooling. Parents do not seem to be involved in the lives of their high school students. I'm actually pretty sure that this movie isn't trying to make any anti-homeschooling statement at all. It just seems to be pro-social, and in this world, especially for Twilight, normal high school is probably the best road to go. And finally, point 3. When you look at FAM as a whole, school isn't ever actually promoted much as a place to make friends. Even though the CMC go to school together, they didn't become friends at school, and most of what they do isn't at school. Like, Applebloom didn't meet Tender Taps at school. Really, the show doesn't push any argument relating to either school method. In fact, I think I could use ideas from the show to explain why both methods are fine depending on how they're carried out. At school, socialization is easily accessible, and even though there are bullies, there might also be friends who can support you. Well, hopefully anyway. And then with homeschooling, there's still other activities that can be done in which give opportunities for making friends. Parents just need to make sure that's available. Like, I was homeschooled and I still found friends. Actually, knowing me, if I had gone to a normal school, I would have probably become overwhelmed and become a total nervous wreck. Instead, I'm just mostly a nervous wreck. Anyway, I hope this was an interesting thought. I'm Phoenix Gleam, and I'll talk to you later.